You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Defending liberty 1 hour at a time and broadcasting live from the RWB Network studios in New York City, this is the Ryno Report. Always right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are going to make America great again.
My fellow Americans, let's roll.
And now, here's your host, the Ryno.
Hello, hello, hello. I am the Ryno, and this is my report today, Tuesday, March 28th, 2017, and we are coming to you, of course, from the RWB Network studios here in New York and broadcasted by CRN Digital Talk Radio. I want to know, just how altruistic are you? More than me, less than me backyard, Sue backyard? Maybe if you live in Portland, Oregon, it may have to be. They're looking for homeowners with backyards that they can put homeless families in. The government there is paying $75,000 for what looks like a ice fishing shanty that they're going to put in volunteer host families' backyards, and then the homeless people can then move in. I don't know if they have to cut your grass, if they have to weed your lawn, but that's what they're trying to do over there. They want to have 300 of these shanties set up across the city of Portland, Oregon. The homeowner is going to be the landlord. I always thought that was sort of the job of the Parks Department, but I guess not. And this is a 5-year contract. If you don't honor this contract for 5 years, you have to pay the $75,000 construction fee. You see these shows on TV, these tiny home shows, they build really nice tiny homes that are bigger than these things for $30,000. Here is a government contract, of course. It's got to be like 8 by 8. It's tiny. It's really, really small. There are already 200 host families signed up to put these things in their backyards. I think you run a very dangerous risk here. But good thing I don't live in Portland, Oregon. All right, we have a lot to get to on today's show. President Trump, his morning tweets sort of set the stage for every show out there, and I think this show is really no different today. We got to talk about Hillary Clinton. We got to talk about why there's no investigation, or if there is one, why is it on the hush-hush? All we hear about is Donald Trump in Russia and Paul Manafort in Russia. That's all we hear about. We got to talk about Hillary Clinton and any investigation that's going on right there. We also got to talk about health care. We have one House member has a very simple solution, or so he thinks. And how much of your tax dollars are going towards government employees who are doing union work while on the clock? That's a big problem, and it only happens in civil service unions. We're spending a lot of money for these people to work on contracts so that they can make more money. We got to talk about that, and I guess, you know what? We got to talk about Maxine Waters' hair. This is making big news right now. Maxine Waters, Bill O'Reilly. It's going to be one of those shows, guys. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Ryno on air, RYNO on air. You can always email me, Ryno at rwbnetwork.com, and you can check us out on the Facebook, facebook.com/The Ryno Report. Do not go anywhere. If you're eating a sandwich while driving, be careful, because we have a lot to get to. Hang in there.
This report is brought to you by Genentech, Stand Up to Cancer, and Genentech recently launched Be the Breakthrough, a campaign focused on educating Americans on how they can each play a role in the fight against cancer. One often overlooked way for people with cancer to be the breakthrough is through participating in clinical trials. Jack Whelan, patient advocate.
After my cancer diagnosis, I worked with my doctor to understand my treatment options and chose to participate in a clinical trial. Over the past decade, I've participated in 7 clinical trials and found this path gave me options and an opportunity to contribute to research that can help others.
People like Jack are part of the breakthrough because clinical trials may help new treatments and procedures become available to the public sooner. For more on clinical trials, go to learnaboutclinicaltrials.org. There, you will find important resources and a confidential clinical trials matching service. Call 1-877-970-7848 to speak with a specialist, or go to learnaboutclinicaltrials.org for more.
Welcome back to the show here. A quick 60-second break. We're off and running. Big shout-outs, as always, to everyone listening on Red Nation Rising Radio, Streaming Talk Radio, KLRN Radio, of course, Western Free Press, their little streaming player there. Very cool to be there. And as always, crntalk.com. And you go to crntalk.com, you go to CRN Channel 1, 2 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and you can catch the live show there. Or you can always go to RynoReport.com, go to the Listen Now page, and then you can click a little button, very nifty, hit that button, and you can listen to the show live there too. And check out the articles and everything else, videos, Rhino rants, all sorts of cool stuff up there on the website. Now, I had this story in the pile today. I wasn't even sure if we were going to get to it. So what I do generally, just in case I missed anything, about 10-15 minutes before we go live, I check the social media. I gotta see what's going on. Are the topics we're about to talk about, are they even relevant? Because the news cycle changes so fast. It literally turns on a dime. So I'll usually check it. I'll say, okay, the 3 or 4 things we're going to talk about, they're all sort of trending, or perhaps they were trending. And I sort of shift my pile around depending on how that goes. Because if you're listening live, you don't want to hear stuff from yesterday. You want to hear stuff from today. I totally get it. So I check the Twitter. And what is trending number 1 in the world right now? It's got to be the first time it's ever happened. I mean, I'm on Twitter pretty much all day. I'm around it. I check it. Number 1, I have never seen this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Bill O'Reilly. Now, Bill O'Reilly typically trends when his show is on 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern, but it'll trend maybe 3rd or 4th in the world, or even 10th or 11th. It's number 1, and he's not even on air right now. And it's all because of Fox and Friends this morning. He was a guest on Fox and Friends, and he was there to plug his new book called Old School, which actually sounds pretty intriguing, and I'm definitely going to give that a read. And if we had a viable Ryno book club, it would be up there. So he's there to plug this book. And then he starts to talk about Maxine Waters, of course, a representative out there in the, I think, western part of the Los Angeles County. And it's very hard to talk about Maxine Waters and not do one of 2 things. Number 1, laugh, or number 2, shake your head. It's nearly impossible. She is undeniably stupid, and everything that comes out of her mouth is just total garbage. And what they're talking about is what she said yesterday on the House floor. Now, she's been beating the impeachment drum for quite a long time right now. And what they're doing, and we can let her beat that drum all day long, because she's just using up very, very valuable political capital. She thinks she's ahead of the curve. She's not ahead of the curve. If she thinks she's the first person to come up with the idea that they should impeach Donald Trump, she must have been asleep for the last year and a half. Anyway, she's beating this drum, and she goes on the House floor and says, I oppose this president, I do not honor this president, I do not respect this president. Okay, to each their own. This is not unexpected out of the likes of her. And then she goes on to insult Trump supporters, which we know Democrats are very good at, a.k.a. the basket of deplorables. I think we can all remember that. She says that Trump supporters are not patriotic. In fact, people that support her and the likes of her, they're more patriotic. Now, Democrats for a long time have been miffed by the fact that conservatives, they say, hijacked the term patriot. They don't even argue it anymore because it's not worth arguing. It's very hard to convince the populace that a progressive agenda that is not nation-centric is the patriotic party. But it does irk them that they're not called patriots. So she goes out and says how her supporters are the bigger patriots and Trump supporters aren't. Okay, whatever. Again, she's undeniably stupid. And then Bill O'Reilly is on Fox and Friends this morning. And he's commenting, opining, if you will, to use an O'Reilly term. And he likens her look, her hair, to that of James Brown. Of all the things I thought we were going to talk about today, I did not think that James Brown's wig, hair, whatever, was going to be the number one topic. But Twitter has told us it must be, because it's trending number one. They are calling Bill O'Reilly an outright racist. He must be fired from Fox News, which will never happen, not in a billion years, for probably 20 million different reasons. He must be fired, and I had to think to myself, let me get this straight. Let me just, somebody please tell me, make this clear for me. So Bill O'Reilly can't make fun of Maxine Waters' hair, but Democrats and liberals can make fun of Donald Trump's hair? I mean, that's been the topic of many an SNL skit, has it not? There is just this total hypocrisy about it. And of course, it doesn't stop there. Not only is Bill O'Reilly a racist, then here come the articles from Gawker. Now, we know how credible Gawker is, right? When you have to pay Hulk Hogan money, you're not very credible. Here's the article about Bill O'Reilly, how he beat his wife and his kids don't want to live with him. They take the attack to him. Now, this was one of two things from Bill O'Reilly. Either number one, it was sort of an off-the-cuff statement, a shoot-from-the-hip statement, or it was very carefully planned, and brilliant, perhaps. He took the heat off of the call for impeachment. Nobody's talking about what Maxine Waters said. Nobody cares about that anymore. What they're talking about is Bill O'Reilly's a racist and Fox News should fire him. That's what they're talking about. He took the heat off of Trump a little bit. Bill O'Reilly can handle this. He's a Long Island boy through and through. He can handle what they're going to dish at him. I wonder which one it was. He is usually very, very metered in what he says. He knows the response he's going to get before he says something. If you watch the full segment with him on Fox and Friends this morning, he was kind of giddy, actually. A little sort of not the way you envision Bill O'Reilly, almost as if he had something up his sleeve. He also spoke about Chuck Schumer and what a dope he is, and we can all agree on that. But Bill O'Reilly trending number one in the world because he talked about Maxine Waters' hair. And it is, it's not my choice. I wouldn't have a hairstyle like that. But all of a sudden, he's a racist. But all of a sudden, no one's talking about impeachment anymore. Nobody's talking about the Russian collusion thing anymore. They're talking about Bill O'Reilly, who happens to be a pretty good friend of President Trump. Maybe it was just a friendly gesture. All right, when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about surveillance. Are we inserting bugs into our own homes? One professor from the University of Texas says that's exactly what we're doing. Hang in there.
Michael Horn and Fred Dreyer for you for Solar Optimum. We come and broadcast from the Solar Optimum studios, 818-745-1489. This is a big deal. You can save energy if you put solar power on your house. Am I right, Fred Dreyer?
Well, listen, if you're tired of those offensive power bills, which I know I am, I had a bill the other day for $683. That's just completely outrageous. Anything over $150, you got to get Solar Optimum.
And they now have this Tesla battery that not only is there for you in a power outage, like an earthquake or the wind blows out the power or something hits and the power line goes out or whatever, but it's there for you in the evening to trickle in more power into your house so you can save even more money. You can go and find out more information and get that Tesla battery in your home. Am I right?
Yes, you can. And all you got to do is call 818-745-1489.
Don't be left out in the cold and the dark. Save your family. Get light in there. 818-745-1489. Solar power and the Tesla backup battery. 818-745-1489.
Hi, friends. This is Larry Minetti. Go to LarryManetti.com to get my book, Aloha Magnum. You'll read all about the wonderful guest stars like Carol Burnett, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and many, many more. There is an episode guide and my favorite recipes that I really cook at home. I will include a free signed photo with every book. Get Aloha Magnum at LarryManetti.com. Order now. Aloha.
Let me take just a moment or two, if I may, and talk about a great place to eat. That's right. For you folks anywhere in the eastern San Fernando Valley, drop into Bob's Big Boys. That's right. In Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. Now, everybody remembers the name Bob's. They're getting bigger and bigger every day. Little old Bob carrying the hamburger in his checkered overalls is the same Bob that you remember from back through the years. And, of course, if you want to go in for a great lunch, remember their classic burger, the original double-deck hamburger combination. Delicious 100% pure ground beef in 2 patties with American cheese, lettuce, and our famous Big Boy special sauce. The name is Bob, and I think when you go in, you'll say, by golly, I'm sure glad that I found this restaurant because it's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They've got all kinds of things, and all you have to do is remember. Bob's Big Boy in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. It's a great place to eat.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of the Ryno Report. I promise we are finished talking about Maxine Waters' hair. I just thought that was very strange how that was trending number one on Twitter, of all things that could possibly be trending right now. That was number one. You got to check out the old episodes, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podbean, or iHeartRadio. They're all right there. Or, of course, you can find them on RynoReport.com. So, do you guys have one of these Google Homes or the Amazon Echo? I know they were big sellers around Christmas time, and then people were saying that during the Super Bowl, like their Amazon Echo was going nuts because the commercial kept saying, Alexa, is that the Amazon one? Or I don't know which one that is. But I guess one of the two of them was going nuts when the TV kept saying the name. Now, there's a professor by the name of Dr. Philip Doty. He's an associate dean of the School of Information at the University of Texas. And what he's saying, and this is very apropos. Let me just preface this by saying we're talking about this story not because I'm telling you not to buy one of these. I mean, I wouldn't. I would never have one of these in my home. It's like planting a bug in your home. But it's very apropos because of the state of surveillance today that we seem to be going through. Years ago, and with Edward Snowden and the NSA and the metadata, which is very concerning on its face because metadata tells you a lot more. So the government wants you to think that metadata isn't that big of a deal. But what metadata is it's the number you're calling or texting and the amount of time that you were engaged in a conversation with that number. And if you have someone's phone number, you have an awful lot of information. You have the doctors they go to, the lawyers. All it takes is a little Google with a phone number to see who lives where and, who's attached to what number. It doesn't take a lot of research to figure it out. Metadata, it's not as simple and as... They want you to make it think that it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. It's just metadata. If you've ever built a website or perhaps posted a podcast, metadata is a pretty big thing because that directs Google where to insert your stuff. It's very big. Metadata is huge. Now, going back to this Google Home and the Amazon Echo, this associate dean, he's saying that essentially what we're doing is we're allowing these companies into our homes to do research on us. And he didn't think so until he read the reports disclosed by WikiLeaks about how the CIA was hacking into those Samsung TVs to essentially listen in on every conversation privately you had in your own home with an expectation of privacy. That's what these companies are doing. And I know we've spoken about this before, but it bears bringing back up again because of what we're talking about with Donald Trump, with Representative Nunes, with the unmasking of names and this reverse surveillance, as is what it looks like it is now. They get these warrants to listen in on foreign actors just so they can listen in to the other person. That's what seems like what's going on here. Now, Google says that it doesn't really do anything. It just listens for keywords here or there and then deletes everything else. But if you go to the data security and privacy policy that applies to Google Home, it says Google stores data about our conversations on its servers, which reside in its data centers. I didn't hear anything in that sentence about deleting stuff, did you? Now, they may not use this to spy on us. In fact, these tech companies have been pretty much against assisting government intelligence when it comes to hacking into these phones and coughing up information. They use this information purely for market purposes. They take it, it's the zeitgeist. It's how Google got so big. They figured out what the user wanted by just saving whatever people searched for. Whenever you searched for something, it got saved somewhere. And then they knew how to direct advertising, and they get a fairly high click ratio because of that. They can direct the advertising, and these companies know that if they do pay-per-click or the AdSense or whatever, they'll probably get a good return on their investment, a fairly good ROI. But if they are saving this stuff and they're not deleting, as Google may want you to think, at what point can the CIA, the NSA, one of those intelligence agencies, actually get into their servers? If the CIA can hack into a Samsung TV, I find it hard to believe they wouldn't be able to hack into a Google server, as secure as it may be. So, we have to always be vigilant about surveillance because it's going on all the time. We have more on this. Plus, we got to talk about Hillary Clinton. Is she still under investigation or not really?
This is The Mungle on Movies. I'm Matt Mungle. The PG animated family adventure The Boss Baby hits theaters this week, and I spoke with director Tim McGrath about developing this story.
DreamWorks had acquired Marla Frazie's book, The Boss Baby. The studio hooked me up with Michael McCullers, who wrote the Austin Powers movies, and we got together and just started brainstorming what could we do in this world to expand it, and we were able to take this little book and turn it into a big motion picture.
To watch my full interview with Tim and producer Ramsey Naito, go to mungleshow.com or follow me on Twitter at The Mungle.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live dedicated agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644.
This is Larry Minetti for Herpanasin, the acne medication that really works from the inside out. If you suffer from skin problems, Herpanasin is the most unique and effective formula on the market. It cleans your skin from the inside out and gets rid of all kinds of acne and blemishes on your back, neck, and your face. It works so well, you can look and feel like a movie star. Herpanasin, a natural supplement created by Dr. Wayne Diamond. You take a pill, and that's it. I've been on these supplements, and they really work, folks. Don't be afraid to look in the mirror ever again. Get Herpanasin today. Call 888-467-4200. That's 888-467-4200. Herpanasin, it really works. 888-467-4200. Tell them Larry Minetti told you to call and look and feel like $1 million with Herpanasin. Call 888-467-4200.
As we are all aware, restaurants and celebrity chefs come and go. But one restaurant is constant, El Cholo. Hi, this is Larry Elder. Since 1923, the original El Cholo on Western Avenue and those in La Habra, Santa Monica, downtown L.A., Anaheim Hills, and the latest Corona Del Mar have served millions of loyal fans and multiple generations. If you've dined there, you know the reason why. It's those fresh green corn tamales, Carmen's historic nachos, the margaritas, and so much more. Treat yourself and dine at a restaurant you really want to go to. El Cholo. I know I do.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. So, check out all the old episodes, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeartRadio, or you can always email me if you'd like, if you have a few free minutes. I'd love to hear from you, Ryno, R-Y-N-O, at rwbnetwork.com. Donald Trump starts his day a little bit different than the rest of us. He likes to get on Twitter bright and early sometimes, or sometimes late into the night. At least we know he's up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hillary Clinton, who knows? She probably sleeps like a vampire. Probably sleeps for like 15 days in a row. A fortnight is what she sleeps for. So he gets up, or I guess this is last night really, and he tweets out, why isn't the House Intelligence Committee looking into the Bill and Hillary deal that allowed big uranium to go to Russia? Russian speech, money to Bill. This is the second tweet now. The Hillary Russian reset, praise of Russia by Hillary, or Podesta Russian company. Trump Russia story is a hoax, hashtag MAGA, which is Make America Great Again. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, but, you know, he brings up a good question here. Now, Donald Trump is very good at trying to change the news cycle. And when the news doesn't really want to change, they don't really agree with him, then all of a sudden something else comes out and they have to change. Usually you'll see Fox kind of shift over, and then the rest of them will fall in line because they have to. But this is a good question. What are we hearing about Hillary Clinton lately? Nothing. Now, we heard after the election, of course, President Trump, or President-elect Trump at the time, said that he wasn't really going to go after Hillary, and that they were nice people. But maybe it's time to rethink this. Because what you have here is you have the entire media establishment caving in on Trump, piling on, talking about this Russian collusion thing, which everybody has said there is nothing there. There's nothing there, not even one stitch, one shred of evidence. But you do have our intelligence agencies listening in on phone calls, which we know they do. There's probably 1 million people around our country that are being listened to because they're talking to their grandmas in Russia or whatever. But they may have used that as sort of a reverse surveillance to really listen to the person on the American side, but procure the warrant just so they can get the phone call from the FISA courts. Like, listen to the phone call because of the foreign person. There's much more smoke to that fire than there is to anything else. The unmasking of names. How did Washington Post, how did New York Times know about Lieutenant General Michael Flynn? These are not stories that are going away. But mainstream media, of course, chooses to run with the narrative that somehow Russia hacked our election and our current president is a result of that. That's what they choose to run with. When you look at someone like Hillary Clinton, now I would never expect ABC, NBC, CBS, the alphabets, to run a negative story about Hillary. And why wouldn't I expect that? Because I read the WikiLeaks dumps. I know they were in total collusion with each other, that the Hillary camp got veto power over certain quotes, certain articles. In fact, they were looking to them for questions, right? Mainstream media was looking to the Hillary camp and the DNC for questions to ask Republicans. So I would never expect them to run a negative story. I think most of America knows that to be true as well. But there was much more going on there. With the emails, with the unsecured server, with this funky deal for Uranium One, 20% of uranium going to Russia, this weird sale that's outlined in Clinton cash. There's a lot there. But they choose not to focus on it. And you know darn well they would not have focused on it had she won. That never would have gotten brought up. It would have been purely up to places like Breitbart or perhaps Daily Caller, maybe the Free Beacon, to really get that story some legs. Because they would have done everything they could to make sure that they were completely and totally clear of everything. I wouldn't put it past them to delete anything. We know Hillary's good at deleting stuff or shredding evidence. What about Podesta? This is a whole separate question, too. See, Paul Manafort, he may have had some ties to a Russian oligarch for a couple of years, about 10 years ago. But what about John Podesta? His family makes millions of dollars just last year working with the Russian government. And he was the campaign chairman from bell to bell on Hillary's campaign. No talk about that. The Russian reset, total disaster. Total disaster. Everyone knows it. It's a joke. Total joke. Is Donald Trump gearing up to sick Jeff Sessions on this? Now, Jeff Sessions, of course, has recused himself from the Russian investigation, which I would totally unrecuse myself, because Democrats don't play by the rules. The rules are just a suggestion to them. I wouldn't recuse myself from anything at this point. And Devin Nunes, no matter how many calls come from the left about him recusing himself, should never. If he recuses, he's the weakest person, spineless, feckless, typical GOP little ear. He must stay at the head, the chairman of the House Intel Committee. But I do wonder if Trump is gearing up to start something here. See, Hillary Clinton has a lot of dirty laundry, a lot of skeletons in her closet. And I thought that she'd be relatively quiet throughout this process. She would take the loss on the chin, realize that the president had said he will not prosecute or look to prosecute, and she would be happy with that. But as the Clintons are, that's not enough for them. It will never be enough for them, because their bank accounts are shrinking, because they have no active role in government. I think it is funny that Donald Trump mentions the speeches that Bill Clinton gives in Russia. Nobody says anything about that. This guy makes millions of dollars speaking to people in a foreign tongue. They don't even understand him, and they make millions of dollars from Bill speaking in Russia. In American. He's not speaking Russian. And then Donald Trump continues. He continues on this morning talking about health care. And health care is going to be one of these overlying issues. And I know some of you out there are not happy with my position on what happened, even though I didn't really say whether or not I was for or against Ryan Care. I just thought it could be better. But I wonder if the House Freedom Caucus is taking a hard line for a specific reason. And does it come back to the old term that we talked about months ago called never Trumpers. Think about that for a minute. We'll be right back. Hey guys, Ryan the Ryno DeSico here for my friends at Liberty HealthShare. If your healthcare has become a burden and you're worried about being stuck for another year, listen up, because you do have options. Liberty HealthShare could be the solution to your problem. Open enrollment is here, and this could be your chance to free yourself from insurance. Take this opportunity and join Liberty HealthShare. You can finally be in control and have freedom when it comes to your healthcare. Liberty HealthShare offers an entirely open network, which means you choose your own doctors and you choose your own hospitals. Liberty HealthShare offers freedom from insurance, meaning there are no related tax penalties. To find out how you can easily make the change, call Liberty HealthShare today at 855-585-4237 or visit their website at libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org. Do it today.
If you're eligible for Medicare, you need to know there is money available to you that can lower your Medicare prescription costs. How much can you save? Find out now by making a free call to Health Markets. They'll search from a variety of nationally recognized plans to find you the right coverage at a price that fits your budget. And they'll do all this valuable research for you at no charge to you. And remember, you may be able to save money on your prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify. Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy? Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs. Put our free service to work for you at no charge. Call Health Markets right now.
800-990-0351. 800-990-0351. 800-990-0351. That's 800-990-0351.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., licensed in all 50 states and D.C. Service and product availability varies by state. Agents may be compensated based on your enrollment.
Welcome back. I have to go back to Devin Nunes for a second here. Like I said, he better not recuse himself. I will have lost all faith and trust in the Republican Party. What little stitch, what little iota I have left in them, it will be gone if he steps down as chairman of the House Intel Committee or recuses himself from what is obviously a large issue when it comes to surveilling private citizens and those working on the transition team of the incoming president. Now, I do think it's kind of funny how you have Pelosi, you have Schumer, you have all these Democrats calling for Paul Ryan to either replace Nunes or for Nunes to step down or step aside. This is the MO. This is the MO of the Democrat Party. If you find something that we don't like, we're just going to call for you to recuse yourself. Because we can't have that. Can't have that. You can't find the dirty laundry. Sessions, like I said, Sessions should unrecuse himself. They piled on. Mainstream media. He met with Kislyak. Everybody met with Kislyak. I'm surprised I didn't meet with Kislyak. There were like 25 sitting U.S. senators, including Schumer and people like Pelosi representatives, Al Franken, who met with Kislyak. But no, Senator Jeff Sessions met with Kislyak, and he has to recuse himself. These Democrats should recuse themselves altogether from Congress. So let me get to this healthcare thing. We're kind of all over the map here, but Donald Trump had a busy morning, so we have to have a busy afternoon. He says the Republican House Freedom Caucus was able to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. After so many bad years, they were ready for a win. The Democrats will make a deal with me on health care as soon as Obamacare folds, not long. Do not worry, we are in very good shape. Now, there is a certain cynical part to me. I think you guys might know that. I truly believe that once a never-Trumper, always a never-Trumper. I do believe that. There were those who went out there and held their noses and voted, so to speak, on November 8th. They couldn't bear the thought of Hillary Clinton winning, so they voted for Donald Trump. But they were going to hold him to a high standard, a standard they knew he couldn't meet in their eyes. But they were going to hold him there anyway. Now, I wonder, I'm just theorizing here, I wonder if this whole thing was submarined on purpose. Now, you do have this guy, what's his name, Mo Brooks? Is that the guy, guy from Alabama? Yeah, Mo Brooks. He introduced a bill as the Obamacare Repeal Act. And it's a one-sentence bill, effective as of December 31st, 2017. The Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act is repealed, and the provisions of law amended or repealed by such act are restored or revived as if such act had never been enacted. That's the entire bill. And he wants people to sign it. It will never get a vote. It won't come to a vote. He just wants people to... He has like a discharge petition. Just sign it, just to see if you're really on board with the repeal process. A full repeal. Here's the problem. You can call on Donald Trump to repeal all you want. He'll never do it. It won't be a full repeal. It has to be a repeal and replace. Because if it's a full repeal, 30 million people are going to lose their health care. That was the brilliant part about Obamacare from the liberal standpoint, was that it's very, very hard to unwind. And Republicans should have fought much, much harder. They knew this was going to be a problem. Now, here's where the Never Trumper thing comes in. If Donald Trump listens to those who are looking for a full repeal and that's it, with no replacement in sight, 30 million people lose their health care. Now there's no confidence in the president, opening the door for somebody to perhaps challenge Donald Trump in 2020 for the nomination. I don't know, someone like a Ted Cruz? Someone like that, maybe? Maybe I'm just theorizing. Maybe it's a little conspiracy theory-ish. But there is really no good reason for a full repeal when you don't have something else there. Something has to be there. I said it from day one. If one person loses their health care because of this, you will never hear the end of it. Never. They made this very, very hard to back up. But Donald Trump can't be shoehorned into a position where he's just going to do a full repeal. And I know there are people out there who that's all they want. They just want the full repeal. Things were fine the way they were. And you know what? Things were okay. Things weren't great. But then there are people who say, and probably the vast majority of Americans who say, you know what? Everybody should have access to affordable health care. It shouldn't be mandated. But of course, Obamacare had the mandate in there so that it could make everybody else have to pay for the 5% who use up the highest amount of resources. When you get rid of the mandate, it makes it very hard to be affordable unless you have a totally open system. So there is a better way out there. I am not a proponent of Obamacare in any fashion. But I'm also not going to say that a full repeal is the end-all and be-all. That sets up President Trump for a huge loss. Huge loss. Not to mention Republicans, too. Do you really want to go into midterms with 30 million people losing health care? This may be the last midterm you have. The last election you have to run on repealing and replacing. After that, you're going to have to find a new issue. We're going to have to come together on something. It is interesting how we thought we were so close to a deal between the Freedom Caucus and the president on Thursday, and then Friday, the unhappy hour, the bill gets pulled. But this cannot be solved in one sentence. So I'm sorry, Mr. Mo Brooks, wrong on this one. All right, when we come back, we have a lot more to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Hey there! Did you know that with a bachelor's degree, on average, you could make almost twice as much over a lifetime than a person with just a high school diploma? It's true. According to the 2012 U.S. Census Bureau, college grads with a bachelor's degree make almost twice as much as high school grads. Now, going back to school is easier than ever at Independence University. Log on and complete coursework from the park, or the beach, or even your couch watching the kids. And Independence University gives you the tools, a free tablet and laptop for undergrad students to use and keep when they graduate. That's right. Get a laptop so you can go to college from anywhere. Take the first step to a new career in business, information technology, healthcare, or graphic arts. Call to find the online degree program that's right for you, and you could be on your way to increasing your earning potential.
800-989-1361. 800-989-1361. That's 800-989-1361. Credit cards are sure fun to use, perhaps a little addicting, and they kind of make you feel rich. Well, if you're like most Americans, you've got over 5 maxed out credit cards in your pocket right now, and you can barely make the minimum payments, right? I'd like to personally recommend a company called DebtHelper.com. DebtHelper.com is a licensed and insured nonprofit debt management agency. They can help cut your interest rates by as much as 50% and lower your monthly payments, saving you thousands of dollars in finance charges on your credit card bills. DebtHelper.com does not lend money. Debt Helper's program could have you paying off your credit card debt in full in a 3 to 5 year period. Call DebtHelper.com right now for your free confidential consultation today. 866-706-3328. 866-706-3328. 866-706-3328. Credit card management services Inc. DBA DebtHelper.com. 1325 North Farmers Avenue, number 201, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33401. Down payment of debt may be creditors to increase finance and other charges or undertake collection activity, including litigation.
So you've missed the healthcare deadline and don't have any form of healthcare? Liberty HealthShare has the answer. Liberty HealthShare offers an affordable healthcare option that allows Americans to enroll any time of the year. For those of you who have already enrolled but just aren't satisfied with what you've chosen, there's still hope. Liberty HealthShare allows Americans to control, manage, and direct their health care, yet still be in good standing with the Affordable Care Act. Members are exempt from the tax penalty and mandates imposed on individuals for not having health care insurance, thus giving you freedom from insurance. Liberty HealthShare empowers their members by giving them the ability to choose any doctor or hospital across the nation. Memberships are for individuals, couples, and families, offering a variety of options to best suit an individual's medical needs. If you're a freedom-loving American like myself, looking for contract-free healthcare, then this is for you. For more information on how to enroll at any time of the year, call 855-585-4237 or visit libertyhealthshare.org to request a free estimate. Do it today.
This is Jeff Carlisi from the Band 38 Special. Let us never forget that police lives matter.
You're listening to the Ryno Report, always right, on the RWB Network.
The Republicans want to repeal it. You know, they actually, with a straight face, say that the Great Recession was caused by too much regulation on Wall Street. They actually say that. You know, I remember when, you know, I've supported my husband through all of his races in Arkansas. And I one of my favorite political ads of all time was a radio ad, rural Arkansas, where the announcer said, wouldn't it be great if somebody running for office said something, we could have an immediate reaction as to whether it was true or not? Well, we've trained this dog. And the dog, if it's not true, he's going to bark. And then the dog was barking on the radio. And so, you know, people were like barking at each other for days after that. I'm trying to figure out how we can do that with the Republicans. You know, we need to get that dog and follow them around, and every time they say these things, like, oh, you know, the Great Recession was caused by too much regulation. You know, I think we could cut right through a lot of their, you know, their claims.
Alright guys, check out all the old episodes, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podbean, iHeartRadio, or RynoReport.com. And, of course, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., CRNTalk.com. And that's on CRN Channel 1. I know I'm going to hear about it. I'm going to hear about it. About the healthcare thing. You're not a real conservative. You're a fake conservative. You don't want a full repeal. No, I want people to be able to get insurance. Just not mandated to do so. And be able to pick out a plan that they want that works for them. Maybe it's just catastrophic. Maybe it's a rider here or there. Get rid of the state lines. Have an exchange. Fine. Just no mandate. Take out the bottom 5% that use up all the resources. Put $15 billion aside. And fund their health care. Get them out of it. Get them out of the equation. This is how we start solving things. Start rolling back Medicaid. Medicaid is out of control. $700 million, almost $1 trillion on Medicaid. Gotta roll that back. They were on the right track. We'll never know what direction the train was about to go in because it didn't get that far. Hopefully the next one gets a little bit further. But to say a full repeal and back to what it was, not going to work. You got to have something else in place. People are going to lose their health care. All right. What else do we got? We got a lot more here. There's this campusreform.org. I like campusreform.org. Has some good stuff every once in a while. There was a professor by the name of James Stroman out of Iowa State University. And he wanted his students to write a paper. Well, this is what it says. Write a paper that gives a historical account of 9/11 from the perspective of the terrorist network. In other words, how might Al-Qaeda or a non-Western historian describe what happened? Don't worry about the fact that you don't agree with them. The point of the exercise is to consider completely different perspectives. So just throw away your values for the sake of indoctrination, right? That's what that says to me. Well, some of the students weren't real happy about this, and it was just 500 words. I mean, I can write 500 words in about 20 minutes. The campus, there's a spokesperson says that they're doing this specific exercise because this is similar to what the CIA does and the State Department's Bureau of Intelligence and Research. So they are grooming their students, apparently, for a career in the CIA. No. I can tell you right now, you can't look at it from that perspective, because if you do, you're a traitor, and you need to leave and or go to jail, because there is no other perspective. So I have an assignment for James Stroman here. Let's pretend you actually gave a crap about the widows and fatherless children that were created due to radical Islamic terrorists. Give me 500 words about why you're still a Democrat. All right? That's my assignment for him. This is ridiculous. Campusreform.org, if you want to see this for yourself. Not unsurprising. Happens all the time. We have one last thing here. I want to talk about unions. We'll do this tomorrow. Promise. Right at the top of the show tomorrow, unions, because your tax dollars are getting spent on federal workers working for the union, negotiating contracts. You're paying for it, and you're paying a lot of money. So we'll get to that tomorrow, I promise. Last little thing here, big announcement from Ford. This coming, of course, Donald Trump, another tweet. Ford has a big announcement. Sounds like they're going to invest $1 billion in 3 different manufacturing plants in Michigan, where they're going to be reproducing the Bronco, which is a great car, or was a great car, the Ford Ranger, which wasn't so hot, but maybe good, and other mid-size SUVs and trucks. Say goodbye to these little wimpy cars and Lego-sized SUVs. Ford is back. Michigan is back. Trump is building a big red wall now. All right, guys. Hope you had a good time. A big thank you to all those who serve our country at home and abroad, and a big thank you to those in the law enforcement community. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all the hard work. Please keep it up, and above all, please stay safe. God bless all of you. God bless all of your families. And until tomorrow, I'm the Ryno, and I'm out.